Hi, welcome back everyone. This is Mihail Algiu, somatic psychotherapist and founder of Circle of Being Somatic Shadow Work. And this is a video in the playlist of toolbox of practices and exercises. So this is a playlist which contains an ever-growing number of videos, shorter videos. I think this is about number 20 or something. And all of this, each video I'm teaching very practical, experiential consciousness exercise or tool that I learned throughout my life from various teachers, or mostly these are from let's say from the Buddhist tradition, Zen, or the Gurdjieff-Uspensky tradition, the Fourth Way, or the non-dual tradition, as well as other psychotherapeutical modalities like Hakomi, Kiloby inquiries, shadow work, Byron Katie, Sedona method. So yeah, if you're watching this and it's the first time you watch this, you will see a playlist below where you can go through all of them, and it's ever growing number of videos. Alright, so I'm driving now, as you can see, which is unusual. I think my first video driving, because actually the tool that I want to teach today is about driving. Yeah, so I want to say something a bit first as a context. So all of these tools and practices are awareness-based practices. They are, especially the first 15-20 of them, they are connected to and geared towards increasing a level of conscious awareness or presence or mindfulness in everyday activity. Yes, in meditation, of course, but our life, we spend very little time on the cushion, and we spend much more time in life, like driving. And all of these tools are offering a sense of something what to do to be less checked out in the regular humanity zombie state of being lost in daydreaming past or future, or totally fully sucked, immersed into a story or into a feeling or into a feeling we don't want, or into some activity where we are we lost ourselves either in the mind or in the emotional body or the pain body. And all of these tools are kind of alarm clocks, practical things that worked for me. I kind of never created any of them. I just took them and was taught these things. Maybe I hybridized some of them. So yeah, the first maybe 15 or 20 of them are connected to developing this capacity to witness thoughts, what to do with thoughts, how to be more present in the here and now, developing this, what other masters like Thich Nhat Hanh or Eckhart Tolle focus their teaching around being present to the here and now, being more awake here and now, bringing mindfulness awareness to the here and now. And this is not an easy task, because we have inherited this habit of being checked out from our ancestors, from all society, all the time, asleep, identify with thoughts and all of that. So anyway, the first tools in this series are more about developing a foundation of conscious awareness, witnessing, quieting the mind. But as the numbers in this playlist, they continue, I will go also more into emotions, what to do with emotions, and where to meet the emotions, and how to no longer resist emotions, and how to feel them consciously, and how to unpack the emotion from the story, or how to thaw out some contraction in the body, how to thaw it out into an natural emotion because now it's repressed, or how to deal with triggers, how to bring the work to compulsions, addictions, deep emotional experiences. And as the numbers of the toolboxes grow, I'm going to go into more like the deeper end of the pool of our pain body, what to do with trauma, how to disassemble the repression mechanism where we are not ourselves, we are not authentic. But all right, let's stay with this one now. So, driving. Buddha, Thich Nhat Hanh, they were not driving, and all these great masters, they didn't live in our world. I mean, Thich Nhat Hanh did drove, and actually I think he was one of the first few enlightenment masters, Buddhist masters, to upgrade the Buddhist teaching to make it for everyday life. You know, cell phones, computers, airports, driving. So, yeah, contemporary life, especially in North America. I live in California. Everybody has a car, and we spend hours and hours and hours driving. Yeah, so and we are not in a monastery, and we are driving. Yeah, so it is important to find a way to bring our own spiritual practice, our own commitment to our spiritual goal in day to day. We can't just be sporadic, like once a week to a therapist, you come to me, or you come to a group, or you go to a retreat, or you sit for 40 minutes in the morning with the incense stick, and it's all good, gratitude, whatever, but then we are just losing ourselves in just activities. So, driving. Alright, so how to bring more awareness, how to diminish the state of being asleep while driving. So, first of all, it's good to realize what is the obstacle here. Yeah, so we are driving usually, and what happens is that although some part of the attention is here, at the same time, a lot of the time we are checked out in daydreaming. And the fourth way will be called imagination. Not creative imagination, but just constant story, past, future, rehashing, anticipating, constant stream of thoughts. It's like a veil. The Sufis, they call it a veil. So one main obstacle is this state of being checked out in daydreaming. And kind of, it's amazing that there are no more accidents. It's amazing there are no more accidents because everybody is kind of, a lot of the attention is sucked into daydreaming. So people are not really there. So, so the way to go is to mimic our sitting practice, our mindfulness through meditation practice, to mimic it as we are driving. Yeah, so also a lot of these exercises and practices I'm teaching here, they are seemingly, they require effort. They require effort because we are so much asleep as compared to what our soul can be. So that's why they require effort. But ultimately, these practices are trying to imitate how we would be if we were more awake. So from one angle, we are trying to fake it. We fake it till we make it. Yes? So, if we were to be awake, fully conscious, from the point of view of spiritual insight and consciousness development. If we were to be fully awake as we drive, it will be kind of like that. We are going to be fully present to the present. Yeah? Part of the attention will obviously be, a large part of the attention will be like a cat, like a driving cat, very aware of the road, of course, very aware of the traffic and all of this, but also aware of the visuals, aware of I'm actually driving through nice hills, perhaps you guys can see. Just present to the present through the visuals, yeah? No closed eye driving meditation. Looking at the colors, looking at the clouds, looking at the trees, looking at the light. It's beautiful. The present is beautiful a lot of the time. And as one of my teachers used to say, that the present is not always beautiful, but being present is beautiful. So we are just being present to the present through engaging the eyes, the seeing. I mentioned in this playlist, the seeing, the looking exercise. So staying that, and without going into daydreaming all the time. Yeah? Also, if we're really conscious, we would be aware of thoughts if they arise. Yeah? The idea is not to have thoughts. It's natural to have thoughts, images, stuff like that. So there's the thoughts, then we notice it. We don't go along with it. Just see it, let it be, come back to the present moment. So we are aware of the arisings in the mind. Also, if we were really conscious, we would be aware of the body, right? Because we are conscious of the here and now. Yeah, it's the road, it's this Subaru in front of me, the clouds, the green, and there's the body. So we are aware of the inner body, aware of sensations, aware of feelings. Whatever is happening, we're just witnessing and allowing them to be. While I'm aware of the road. So somehow this being conscious of the outer world and of the inner world at the same time in the present moment. That's what would happen if we were really conscious. It's fine, listen, put music. You can put some nice music. That's fine, no problem. Or listening to a podcast or something interesting. That's fine. Alright, so basically, ultimately, we are aware of the sense of our own presence. All of this witnessing and watching thoughts and witnessing, allowing, all of this ultimately they can help us become aware that there is this presence. The presence which is seeing, that's the presence, conscious presence which is hearing, sensing the body, this aware being. All these are words, pointers that are pointing to this awakeness right here, right now. So as we are driving, this is all very sustainable. We are conscious of this awakeness and conscious of whatever arises. That's the whole spiel. Now, practically speaking, we are usually so far from this. So here are some useful exercises. I used to do this a lot. So if you have a regular route to go to work or something, I suggest you look at the time on your clock or some car clock, and just to kind of put like 10 minutes or 12 minutes on the clock where you are committing to not going in daydreaming for 10 minutes. So you are really very alert and just staying as just being aware. And being aware of the breath. It's a little bit like in meditation, the Zen style of meditation, when the mind is busy, to watch the breath as an anchoring into the breath, anchoring to the here and now. So watching your breath, if the mind is very busy, and then being present to visuals, obviously just being safe, and being aware of the body, eyes open, relaxed, relaxed, holding the wheels, being aware of the contact with the wheel, aware of the contact with the chair. If you are not a beginner driver, so if you're a beginner driver, don't start with this, but all of us, driving can become very automatic, so you don't have to, the body knows how to drive, so the body is doing all of these things, adjusting the wheel. There's an aspect of our body mind that is doing this automatically, thanks God. Even if we are checked out, it kind of does it automatically. So the body is doing all of this, so you don't have to worry about these things. So you put 10 or 15, maximum 15 minutes on the clock where you are basically stopping thoughts. Which means like a thought will come, tell you, oh, I have to do this, I have to do that, think about this, think about that. And you notice it, and you don't stick to it, it fades away. Stay. Be. Just aware, just here. Engage your attention in the present to stay anchored in the now. Breath, whatever, you can put music, it's fine. Ideally, don't put lyrics, because it engages the mind. Have something without lyrics. Another thought comes, catch it, notice it, let it go for now. This is just 10-15 minutes, and stay in seeing, being aware, conscious, doing this. Now this will be hard. You catch yourself in daydreaming. Sometime you realize you've been driving for some time and you don't see anything. It's amazing how you didn't go off the road. You catch yourself in a big story, just unhook, come back. So practicing this returning from daydreaming for 10-12 minutes, just do that. And then when you have 12-12 minutes, you just drop it, just let it go. Don't do this, drop this exercise. This is not meant to be done all day long. This is meant to jumpstart this ability to witness and not get sucked into the mind. So actually that can be a very, as you develop this, you will develop your ability to almost have some time for yourself. Some of us, we don't have time to meditate, but you drive. So you can use the driving as a dynamic resting into the now. It's like time for you to land, to arrive. Yes. All right, another way is to, let's say if you go for a long trip, you can actually set up some alarm clock or set up some of these meditation application timers that every 10 minutes, you can set up every 10 minutes or every 15 minutes there is a bell. Bing. So you can use that bell, each time you hear that bell, to remember about the presence. So you remember yourself and engage in this, like, if you were checked out, come back, being aware of the body, being aware of the mind, being aware of the world, resting as what we are, this presence. So you can, each bell, like every 10 minutes, every 15 minutes, stay with that and have like a mini coming back, like a mini vacation, mini we'll call it in the fourth way, to have these efforts of self-remembering. Self as being the here and now aware being. So the being remembering itself to be conscious to itself and to what arises. That will be good, you can do that. So in this way you have some more frequency of this remembrance and diminish this disease tendency to be all the time somewhere else checked out. All right, so one other suggestion. One of my dear friend of mine, she was always kind of criticizing and complaining my driving. It's like, dude, it would be like, you're all this about presence and the here and now, but you are driving erratically, dude. What's wrong with you? I was like, oh, okay. So she was right. So one way we can use certain driving skills to increase your level of aware presence. Yeah, so you can use these things like if you are an awesome driver, if you are a good driver, like a limousine highly trained driver, a highly trained driver would be driving smooth. Yeah, it's not going like it's not accelerating, decelerating, braking. So a highly trained driver is driving very smooth, so that if the CEO is there, it's not kind of jerked around. Yeah, so this means in order to do that, one needs to be really present and anticipate and see the car ahead of you, and actually not brake necessarily, but take the foot off the gas. And so ensuring like a smooth, not jerky thing. Yeah. So yeah, imagine that you're driving, you have some buckets of water, or you have some little girl that is sick. You want to keep it, or your beloved that is not feeling well. You want to keep it very smooth. Yeah. Also, the turning of the wheel to not be jerky, not to be smooth. A good driver is something that the passengers are going to be relaxed. They are not like shocked. Yeah, that's what my beloved friend was photographing me for. A little bit mindless, unconscious driving, which was making her uncomfortable. So also in America, I think in many European countries, there are these things on the side of the road, like if you veer off, it'll go like that. Yeah. So another exercise would be to try to use these things to stay within the lanes. Of course for safety, but just to be very smooth and gentle. And in order to be smooth and gentle, effective driver, one has to be more aware. Maybe some of us, we develop this skill from some good teachers, so we do this unconsciously anyway, so we can be checked out and we are doing this unconsciously. But some of us who didn't develop the skills, this would be a good way to add, besides watching the breath or being aware of thoughts, staying in the here and now, to try to drive as smooth as possible, not jerky. And also in every possible way. So you can add that. Yeah? So this way, the driving is our meditation. Driving, it's no longer... Oh yeah, another thing, the ego self finds driving boring. The moment is boring. And we're always going somewhere else. There's always somewhere else. I need to get somewhere else. Somewhere else. I'll be there, the next girlfriend, or the next success, or the next thing. So trying to have this, that Thich Nhat Hanh will say this: when you drive, you get into the car, remind yourself, I have arrived. This moment is the beloved. This moment is home. I'm home in this moment. So try to drive as if you are in a deep, open-eyed meditation. enjoying the present, enjoying the being. I mean, fuck, enjoying this amazing, this engineers that made this car. I can drive around America to see the beauty of the creation. I mean, grateful. So making our practice, everyday life, our life is the satsang. Our life is the practice. Our life is the communion with God. Our life is remembering God. And so it's a lot of driving. So I think you got the point. All right. Ciao, ciao.